Never let your past determine your future. Learn from others' mistakes. Learn from your mistakes. You fall, get back up. Someone pushes you down, get back up. You lose your faith, get it back. You lose yourself, find a new you. You have pain, don't hold it in. Get out of any negative situation that changes you. Don't hold on, move on. That first step outside your comfort zone just might be the best move you ever make. Don't be scared. Put one foot at a time. Take a deep breath. Grow. Life can be seen like a series of tests trying to make you fail. So study and learn. Do you want to pass the test, or do you just want to get by? Or will you fail the test? Open your eyes. Your rainbow is so close. This is my story. That was my first step.
Hi everyone, it's your girl ShayJanai coming to you with another video. Yes. So after my son autism video, you asked a lot of questions. How am I so mature? How did I learn all this information? What was my life like growing up? So here's my story. Okay, so before I start, none of this is in a particular order. I'm trying to stay in order with my memory as I go, but girl ain't writing on this down. So I'ma just pretty much just go with the flow. So the first things first is a lot of people didn't know I actually grew up having seizures. So I believe I started either when I was an infant or toddler. I'm not really too sure on which one. I can't remember. But my last one was in college. And growing up dealing with seizures, nobody sat down and explained what seizures was. They didn't tell me you could possibly die from seizures. They didn't let me know any of this information. All I knew is if I had a seizure out in public in front of kids, that I was going to be the talk of the week. I was the freak show for that particular week. And, I was just this quiet, smart kid, so I wasn't talking back. If people said stuff, I pretty much just act like I didn't hear. I'm right there, but I'm acting like I didn't hear it because that's just the type of person that I was. And kids was mean, and a little bullying going on here and there, like, oh, she a freak, she mentally unstable, something wrong with her. So when I tried my best to try not to have seizures in public, so that kind of cut me down on a lot of sports because mainly if I had seizures, it was either when I got too hot or pretty much whenever I got sick. When I was younger, before they got me on the right medication, no, I was just having them like clockwork, like every 17 days, every 10 days or so. It was just random. It wasn't if I got too hot. It wasn't if, so as I got older, it kind of went to when I started to get too hot or when I started to get sick. Them are the times that I was most likely finna get to have a seizure. Oh my goodness, I was exposed to so much at such a young age. So the first memory that pops up is I was with my brother, girlfriend, kids at a park, and we turned around, a group of boys was there, and they had pulled out these knives, and they're like, y'all finna go to come behind this building with us, so we finna go to harm y'all. So we young, we don't know any better, so we just look at them and we just take off running. Like we Forrest Gump running to the house. We just gone. So once we get to the house, we tell my brother, and of course they go up there trying to look for him, and nobody was there. But I want you to understand at this time we were so young that we didn't understand that they pulled out these knives. What they was finna to do with this? We didn't understand that if we actually went behind this building, what was they finna do to our bodies? We didn't understand this. Like we don't even knew why we ran. And I'm gonna tell you now, we ran and we went back to playing at the house as if nothing was wrong. That's how little and innocent we was. So we walked to this park by ourselves. Nobody came back and told us, oh, it's unsafe for y'all to walk to this park because of these situations. It's real life situations out here with people. Nobody came back to tell us any of this. So we were just kind of left there to kind of wonder. So, it's as we get older, you kind of come back and you replay these situations of how worse that these situations could have actually been. So moving on, that was probably the first memory. So this next one, my brothers, I'm not too sure what they did, but they got in trouble for something, and they was mad at my mom. Very young, so again, none of this is following a path. I'm just kind of throwing some stories out there of my life so you kind of get a understanding of who I am and how I could have went the wrong way. I could have been a totally different person. So, okay, they was mad at my mom, And they told me, they was like, okay, sis, we're gonna put you out the window while mama's asleep, and we want you to go up here to this gas station. Some men's gonna pick you up and they're going to protect you. Now, I'm young, I don't even understand like what they saying. I'm just crying and saying, okay, okay. So they put me out the window. It's dark as ever, and I'm walking to this gas station that we don't walk to before. So I get to this gas station after walking, I think about 2 miles to this gas station. And instead of standing outside, the lights was on inside the gas station. So I went in because I was supposed to be standing outside waiting on the guys to come pick me up. So I go inside the gas station. I'm so scared to ask for the phone. And I just remember my grandparents teaching me their phone number. So I typed the phone in and I was crying on the phone, tears just coming out of my little bitty eyes. And I'm like, Grandma, Papa, I'm scared. They said some people gonna come get me and protect me. I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Grandma and Papa, they're scared. Like, where you at? Where you at? I said, I don't know. I'm at a gas station. I don't know. They said they gonna come pick me up. And my grandpa and my grandmother tell me this story every time that I come see them, of how much that I scared them. So, growing up and looking back at that situation, you know, that could have turned out a lot worse if I did not actually go inside this gas station and decide to call my grandparents. So of course the police came. I made it back home safe and everything or whatnot. But that's just one of the situations in my life. Like, I was young, but I remember, which is crazy because that's how young I was, young enough to remember this phone number that my grandparents taught me, but not old enough to understand like this situation that's going on. And again, I got home. Nobody still explained to me about, these men, what they could have did to you, how they could have harmed you. Nobody came back and had these conversations with me. So all of these little situations is just building and building and building, and nobody is explaining anything to me. I was at one of my aunt's house when just an innocent kid sitting on the couch playing with some toys, and one of my cousin friends was inside the home. So it was sitting on the opposite end of the couch where I was playing it. Kept getting kind of closer and closer to me and stuff like this, and he was like, hey, hey Shayna, and trying to talk to me. And I was like, hey, how you doing, playing with my little dolls and stuff still. And he's still, scooting over, getting closer and closer. So I'm looking like, getting closer and closer. I'm not thinking too much of about it. And so he ended up asking me, I can't remember if he was asking me for a kiss. He was asking me to touch him. I can't remember exactly what he did, but I act like I had to go to the restroom, and I was like, I'll be back. I'm gonna go to the restroom. And he was like, okay, I'm gonna wait on you. And I actually went outside because my cousins was outside. And I went outside and I was like, hey, that guy up in there, he's asking me to kiss him, touch him. I don't understand, but I don't think you're supposed to be doing that. So that's how young I was. I'm playing with dolls, and we never actually had conversations like this. Nobody had the conversations about people touching you in certain body parts. Nobody did this. I just kind of put, just see stuff on TV and movies that I seen, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think we're supposed to be doing that. When I told my cousins, I was like, you're not mad at me, are you? Because am I wrong? Maybe he wasn't trying to do anything. And immediately my cousin went in, and I ain't never seen that guy again, no more after that. But I came into many of these situations when I was younger with people trying to touch me in inappropriate ways, kids, these adults trying to touch little kids, trying to touch me, trying to get me to do stuff for candy. I have so many memories of situations like this. And again, nobody came back to explain, okay, these situations to me. So again, I'm left to wonder, okay, like, was I right? Was I wrong? Did I get that person in trouble? Like, did I do something wrong? Okay, so I'm the only child of my mom and my dad. So my other siblings, they either have different dads, different moms, so my dad has kids, my mom has kids. Okay, so growing up, I didn't understand why my sister had to go with me every time I went with my dad family, because I was like, We ain't got the same daddy. Why she got to keep going with me every time my daddy or my dad family come pick me up or something? Not understanding that, you pick one sibling up, you get the other one. That's just how my daddy family was. They wasn't just gonna pick one kid up and leave the other one when I'm here taking care of this one anyways, and mom got to go to work. I'm not understanding this. So growing up, I was just mad. I was mad. Like every time my daddy come pick me up, this little girl gotta go with me. Every time my auntie or grandma, somebody come pick me up, why she gotta come with me? So I had an attitude. Now I didn't have an attitude towards them because ain't nobody finna grit and smack me. So I would just kind of kept everything inside. But I was mad though, and I didn't understand, that my dad's side family, they just got this different type of love that I never seen before, I never experienced. So they wasn't finna pick up one child without the other one. And they didn't see my sister as not being their niece, not being their granddaughter. They didn't see that. My family loved everybody. My sister, my grandparents is my sister grandparents. My aunties is my sister auntie. My dad is my sister dad. Like, that's just how my family was. So again, I didn't know this understanding until later on in life, that this is the type of love that my family had. They wasn't just gonna pick me up and just leave her by herself. No, they're gonna get both of us. So, as my auntie got me, this my auntie Mary is who introduced me to God and religion. So, of course, I had been to church before then. I didn't understand anything, but my auntie Marion is who took her time to explain every single thing, and she knew what I was dealing with. She knew a lot of the personal details that I was dealing with in the situations that I was trying to get away from, and she told me to pretty much run towards God. So I'm not still understanding God at the time and understanding religion. I'm not understanding this, but she did take her time to educate me. So we started going to church. She started us singing in the choir. We started praise dancing, and at some point I formed a love, and I actually got baptized when I was 16 years old. So that's very interesting. I didn't. Most people do it as a baby. I actually didn't get baptized as a baby. I got baptized when I was 16, and she actually gave me a choice. So it wasn't her saying, "Hey, you finna do it." It was me going up front to the altar saying that, "Hey, I'm ready. I'm ready to get baptized." So I'm thankful for my auntie Marion for taking the time out and seeing every single thing that I was going through at that time, and taking me to church, because if I didn't have religion at that time, I'm not even sure who I would be, with so much stuff that I was going through, trying to get away from, so much pain, so much hurt, confused about everything. But again, I'm this quiet person. I'm not talking, I'm not saying nothing back. All of these situations in my life keep happening and happening and happening, and nobody explaining none of this. I go to school, I come home, I go to school, I come home. I'm not seeing anything else. I'm not going to any parties like the rest of the kids. Okay, so we just gonna go ahead and jump to high school. High school was tough. High school is very tough. I was known as the smart kid. We finna to cheat off her work kid. I wasn't bullied a lot up in high school. It was a little couple people try here and there, but it wasn't a whole lot because I pretty much avoided a lot of people. So high school, I went through a couple phases. I didn't really have any friends. I tried to make friends, but everybody was just into the popular kids. The people up in the band, the people in the choir, the football players, the basketball players. I was just known as a smart kid that, yeah, we can cheat off her tests or whatnot. So again, I didn't have many friends. So this is when I learned that men could harm women. So this guy, he approached me, a very popular guy, handsome guy, and he was like, "Hey, I be seeing you around school and stuff. I was just wondering if you want to watch a movie one time." And I was like, "Oh wow, like you, you talking to me?" He was like, "Yeah, you right here, ain't you?" And I was like, "But you talking to me, somebody that's not popular?" And he was like, yeah, I like you and stuff like this. And I was like, so I was happy and I was smiling like, okay, somebody noticed me, somebody see me, like for real. I'm like, okay. And I was like, well, I don't think my mama gonna let me go out on a date with a boy up in high school. So no, I don't think I'm gonna be able to go. He was like, well, we can just skip school and just go to my place. And I was like, skip school. Okay, I'm pretty smart. I can miss a day of school. So easy, just like that. I was so happy that he paid attention to me that I was like, okay, But I told him, I was like, I feel more comfortable at my place instead of your place. And he was like, okay. So mom left and he came over. I put the movie on and we're sitting on the bed and he's trying to make a move. And I'm like, I don't do none of that. Sex is nasty. I'm not doing that. That's nasty. We're not gonna do that. We ain't gonna do no kissing. So you gotta understand, like, I wasn't doing none of this at all. I wasn't doing none of it. Like, I just wasn't interested in it. I didn't know much about it. Nobody had that conversation with me yet. So it was just a no go for me. Like, nah, I'm not gonna agree to do this. And so he got so angry that he tried to punch me, but your girl's duck game was like on point. Like I was on point. So I ducked and he put this big old hole through the wall up in my room. And I was like, oh, my mama finna be mad than a mug. Ooh, she finna grit it. Ooh, I'm finna get in trouble. So, of course, my brother, he came about and he made him leave or whatnot. But the thing is I didn't quite understand, even though I was in high school, I didn't quite understand how bad this situation was. And if I would have actually went to his house instead of my house, how this situation could have turned out worse because I was just thinking that, hey, like maybe he liked me and we finna go to watch a movie and, it was going to be good. Like I don't watch a lot of movies. People, they watch movies. They'll go out on dates. This is considered a date for me since I actually can't go out on a date. So nobody came back and of course they weren't gonna have this conversation with me because first I didn't even tell my mom. She ain't gonna know until she see this video that's how that wall got that's how that hole got on her wall. I pretty much was like, yeah, I'm not gonna get a whooping double for skipping school and for having the boy over. So we just gonna have to go with the hole in the wall. I don't know what lie I told, but all I know is I told that lie that's how that hole got up in the wall or whatnot. But what I did was I went back to school and I had made a fake doctor's note, and I called my auntie Chris, like I'm not feeling well at school. Can you come pick me up? She checked me out. I go up over her house and everything, and I'm like, yeah. As soon as my mom get home, she see this hole in the wall. Boy, when she got home, did she come get me? I don't know what lie I told or whatnot, but I did not tell her that this boy came over, and he punched his wall because I would not have sex with him. So again, that was one of those situations where again I was so quiet. You scared to kind of open up your mouth and try to be somebody else a little bit to try to fit in, and it just didn't work. So I just started eating lunch inside my teacher's classroom. Whatever subject I was having next after lunch, I would eat up over there, or I go to ROTC and eat in their building, or I go to Mrs. Calloway class to eat up in her class or something. So I'm getting to Miss Calloway. This is one of the key people in my life that has made me the person that I am. She knew every situation that I was going through. So I just broke down crying one time and I just got tired. You know how you keep stuff in for so long, and I just got tired. And I just pretty much just started telling her everything. And she seen something in me that I didn't see in myself. And this is the person who taught me how to be a lady, who taught me how to talk, who taught me how to dress. She took me different places. I joined this group, FCCLA, Family Career Community Leaders of America. And with this, I became more confident in talking. I became more open. I became more outgoing. My personality of who I am started to form a little bit because of her and everything that she took her time to do. So I have been out of town with my dad a couple times because he always stayed out of town. But I didn't learn much. It was just going out of town, visiting your father and coming back. But with her, when we went out of town, she showed me that it was other stuff out here instead of this small city Pine Bluff. Like, you can stay here, that's fine, but it's so much out there in this world. And I was so young, I had only known what I seen on TV. So she's the first person that ever took me to Washington DC. Um, She's took me to so many different places. She's the first person that ever took me up on a plane. This teacher, she went above and beyond because, again, she seen something in me that at that time I didn't even see in myself at all. So, as she's taught me how to dress, it wasn't no a certain way. She was real and honest about it. She was like, okay, listen, you're African American and you're going out here in this world. You don't need to dress a certain way, like how people portray African Americans to dress. You can dress like a lady. You can act like a lady. I didn't know what a plate setting was. She showed me what a plate setting was. She showed me how to set my plate. She told me what silverware to eat at what time, how I needed to cross my legs. And when I go to job interviews, she sat down at a table with me in high school, interviewing me, making me do interview questions, like getting me ready for college. Y'all, college wasn't even an option for me. That wasn't even a thought to even go to college. And this is how much she invested in me, getting me ready for life outside of high school. On these trips that we would take, as we walked, so let me just use Abraham Lincoln for example. Now, I said in a lot of history classes where you read how John F. Kennedy died, how Abraham Lincoln died. So once we travel and we start to go to these different cities and states, we'll go to historical parts like this and we'll learn how they died. It was way more interesting than just reading in a book and versus actually walking through this theater, seeing, oh, this is what happened to Abraham Lincoln. Oh, so he went across the street and this is where he died at, or this is where he laid hurt at. So these situations is how I actually learned about a lot of past presidents. Looking at the museums that they present from John F. Kennedy death and how he was going through the parade and everything, and pictures of his wife and everything. So during these trips, it wasn't just, oh, you're gonna go out here and handle business with this organization that you joined. It was so much more than this. She showed me other life. We traveled these cities. We walk. I seen these big, huge buildings. I seen a total different life that I have never seen before. She introduced me to a whole nother world. And again, she gave it to me raw, and it was no sweet talking. When she would talk to me like I was just anybody. So, in telling me, like, Shani, you need to do this to succeed in life, you don't need to do this, and this is what helped molded me into the person that I am today. And once I opened up to her, I started opening up a little bit more to more teachers of what I was dealing with, and it was like they almost all came together. So again, I told you I wasn't popular at all. So the softball coach ended up putting me up on the softball team senior year in high school. Now, I had no business playing softball at all because first off, I didn't know nothing about softball at all. But it was just me trying to get away from my situation. So it was always me trying to be busy, 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 busy. So he put me on the softball team. I didn't make any friends. I only made one friend up on the softball team, just one. But I felt like I was part of the team. I got this Leatherman jacket. We took pictures. I felt amazing. Of course, I didn't have any friends. I mean, nobody on the softball team talked to me besides for just that one person, just that one friend that I still have today. And I wasn't open with my body. Everybody else get dressed in the locker room. I'm going all the way to the bathroom to get undressed. So again, like I can't, like, y'all, I'm telling you, coach called me out one time. Now, I'm just supposed to be sitting on this team. I'm just supposed to be practicing with y'all. I'm not actually supposed to go up on this field and hit this ball. Y'all, when he called me one time, I was out there eating sunflower seeds. Like I was actually just doing something, just out there, just traveling with them, going to the different cities and seeing stuff because he knew what I had going on and the situation that I had going on, but nobody else knew. And I was just trying to get away from what I was dealing with. And y'all, I kid you not, this man called me. I hit to this field to hit this ball, and I, who you want the bat? You want me to bat? Now, coach, you know if I get too hot, I'ma foul out in front of these kids and they finna grade it on me and bully me this whole week. No, coach, no. He was like, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on out here. Come on, we need you to bat. You the next batter rope. When you stay, but you gotta come on the bat. We just need everybody to come home. We got 3 people on the play. We just need somebody to come home. Like, coach, you just said I gotta hit the ball. I'm trying to get you to understand. I'm probably not finna gonna hit this ball. Like, I was an outfielder. I barely caught the ball. I hear it because I'm like, that's pretty goddamn go high. I don't know about that. So these teachers, they all came together and I started forming like, okay, like I'm opening my mouth. They listening to me. They hear me. In high school, I joined JROTC. Now, I told you there's a couple of people in my life that I'm very thankful for. It was his name was Colonel Underwood, and he was Greek. He was Greek, but it was a good type of Greek. It wasn't bad. He's why I'm so well mannered today. I don't walk on grass. I try not to disrespect people. I respect people up in uniform. He gave me a different type of understanding. Miss Calloway got me to be a lady, but he got me to pretty much be maintained on top of respectful of others and respectful of myself. So it was different with some of these teachers with Colonel Underwood. He would sit there again, he seen something in me. He was always tell me all the time, Miss Whiteside, I see something in you. I see something in you. You're going to be great. And when certain stuff happened, he was so proud of me, and I was like, okay, oh, I got somebody that's so happy and so proud of me in different situations. So I'm very thankful for him because I don't think he even know how much he when he took his time to mold me into JRTC to be the person that I am today, get me involved in, going around and getting donations and different stuff like this. It made me more outgoing, approachable to strangers, to ask for donations, to respect the United States, to respect the flag, I would never have disrespect for United States. I wouldn't have respect for the military if it wasn't for him. Because he showed me it wasn't more so, oh, you should just do this. I'm gonna just tell you to do this. It's more like he explained every single detail. I learned how to sign a check in JRTC. I kid you not. I learned how to sign a check in JRTC. It was a lot of life situations in JRTC. It was that I used, in the rest of high school, you don't really use too much. But in JRTC, yes, you learn a lot that's going to be helpful later on up in life. I actually had these 2 cousins growing up that I was pretty much with a lot. But they feel more like sisters, but they was actually my cousins. And they grew up in a house with a mother and a father, and they always hip with the new stuff. They was always hip with the new dances, always had the new clothes. So I was always up over there, and I was like, I admired them so much. I wanted to be them. I tell them all the time, man, like, oh my goodness, y'all so blessed and y'all so lucky that y'all grew up in this house, with all of this income, with all of this money, and y'all don't have anything to worry about. So I look at people's lives and I just look at other people like, oh, y'all was so blessed. Y'all have so much. You have to understand where I'm coming from. You have to, if you want something, you have to get out there and get it yourself. You have to work hard. It wasn't given to you. You got to get out here and get it. I didn't come from a wealthy family where you can get this and that. No, you got exactly what you needed to get by. I have a brother that's I believe about 2 years apart. They end up going into foster care. So Around this time, if foster care was full, you would go to juvenile or whatnot. So he had went through so much, and he would come back and tell me the different stories that he went through, that he ended up running away, and he was homeless at a very young age. So I'm not sure how old I was, but I was young. I was still taking a bus to school. This is how young I was. So he would come meet me in the mornings. I'm not saying anything to my mom or anything. He would come meet me in the mornings, and we'll walk to the bus stop together, and then when I get off the bus, he'll be there. And then, once he started telling me he was so hungry and he can't find food and stuff like this, I would starve myself the whole day at school. The food that they gave us for breakfast, they I would walk off campus and give him the breakfast, and then when I get my food at lunch, I would walk off campus and give him the food, and I wouldn't eat until I got home. And on days that my mom was going to work and stuff, I let him come in the house. I take him a shower, clean him up, and send him out the way with different stuff or whatnot, and then gone back on. So we just kept this going, all the way through high school. I know we just kept it going for so long. He was living on the street for so long. And at this time, some houses share garages. And since my mom and her neighbor share garages, they had a dryer and washer and dryer outside. We would go outside, and when it got too cold outside, and turn a dryer on and turn the vent towards him. Now, not knowing that they could kill him back then, because this is how young we was and how uneducated we was. But he was so cold, and it was so cold outside, and he was homeless. So why wouldn't I help my brother? Like, he was here at the house and now he's gone, not understanding what did he do to leave his house. Like, what did he actually do? I didn't know none of these situations. I didn't know anything. All I know is he was my brother, and I wasn't finna just let him be homeless and not do anything. So I used to turn this vent on, and that's how we get him to get warm. And I learned how to cook at a very young age. So when I cook food at the house and stuff, I act like I'm going outside to throw some trash and stuff away, and I will give him the food, and I tell him when to meet me again and what time is a good time to come back to help. So I did this a lot going through school until he got. With this video, I'm giving a lot of insight up on what my life was like, but I'm kind of holding back a little bit of it because I have forgave people that did certain stuff, and we have a relationship now to this day with family members. And so, the thing about forgiveness is, it was very hard at first, and once I learned how to forgive, it made life a little bit easier, forgiving people for what they did to me growing up, and for what they said to me growing up. So I can't put their names out, or certain situations that'll lead to them, because the internet isn't as forgiving as I. Growing up, I raised my sister. So in the households, back then you didn't have as much help as you do now. So I got up in the morning, I cooked breakfast, I did my sister hair, walk her to the bus stop, I go to the bus stop. As we got older, got up in the morning, cooked her something to eat, drove her to school, went to school, got out of school, got out of practice, picked her back up, went back home. This was my whole entire routine through high school. Got home, helped her with her homework. And that's why I tried to do my homework before I left the school, so I have to just focus on her. Put her in the bed, cook her dinner, lay down in the bed, get ready to go to school the next day. So continue. This was my life. So I also believe this is another reason probably why I didn't want to have children. Prom. Oh my goodness. I was so scared that I was gonna have to go to prom by myself. Oh, I was so scared. But somebody finally asked me at the last minute, and I was so happy. I didn't even notice that this person had noticed me, and I was just happy that somebody actually asked me. So I got a job at Wendy's, y'all. Most people was fortunate enough to get their parents and everything to buy them a dress and stuff. When I say I had to work for mine, I had to work for mine. So I went to work at Wendy's. I got the job. I saved the money. and I bought my prom dress. And I sent him a picture and was like, "This is the color that I chose." It was a yellow dress. And y'all, I thought I was finna to be the most gorgeous girl at the school. I worked so hard for this dress, and I just thought that I was gonna be so pretty. And I didn't know anything about makeup or nails or stuff like that. So I just got my hair done in a dress. I didn't take any professional pictures. Shoot, we laid a towel down on the front lawn, and my mama took pictures with a cell phone, and that was the pictures for the prom. That's how we took. And I was so excited, ready to go to prom, ready to see everybody dresses and everything. And I can't lie, once I got to prom, I kind of was sad because everybody dresses was so pretty, and I didn't feel so pretty anymore. So it was like, oh my goodness, like everybody looked like princesses and princesses and princes and just like the movies. And I was like, yeah, my dress isn't as pretty as I thought that it was going to be. So it was just so my date, he kind of seen it, and we actually had a good time. We had a pretty good time, but I worked so hard for this dress. I was just so happy and so proud that I worked enough to buy this dress. People had their nails done, their toes done. Their dates was like that was like matching. Then of course, when they did the king and queen thing, of course, I already knew that I wasn't in the running for any of that. So, I had a pretty good time with my date still. And everything pretty went okay for that night. But toward he made me feel like I was, pretty and stuff like that. Towards the end and everything, he's like, it's okay. Everybody, you still look pretty. I mean, he was happy with me. It was just me, just looking at everybody else dresses like, oh my goodness. They look like they spent thousands of dollars. I worked for this little $100 dress, and I just thought that I was just gonna really be the most beautiful person here. College, that has to be part two. That is a whole nother video all by itself. In college, this is where I lost myself, found myself, lost any faith that I had. So I went through so much during those 4 years that I would say that during those 4 years that made the biggest impact of who I am today. So the situations I went through in high school and junior high, oh baby, I thought those was bad. But no, what I went through after I left home was a total different thing. No school, no family member ever prepared me for the situations that I was finna to go through.
He hits me. He kicks me in my face. He rapes me. But he says he loves me. I gave him my good stuff. I gave him me. I let him break me down round for round. I finally fought back. Breathe, my child. That's not love. I had to pick my face up off the ground. I had to build myself back up just to get around. That's not me. That's not love. I fought for my life. I got my good stuff back because I chose to live.